So if you can see in the reflection of the phone screen, I am recording this with my Nikon Coolpix. So the look is very much stock. You have vertically scrolling all apps home screen, and this time around you have two platelets on the notification bar. And you can directly edit them by touching this edit tiles. You can press and hold to move them around, and you can add more right inside the notification panel, so that's a good touch. You can tap settings button to directly hog into the settings. So let's go into about phone. As you can see, the Android version is 6.0.1 and Android Marshmallow appears. So in the wireless networks it's all normal, nothing special. And lights, so you have live display and adaptive display. You have double tap to wake, so I will show you how it is done. So you can double tap on the screen to wake it up, just like that. And then there is double tap to sleep, so you can double tap on the status bar to make it sleep. So that's a good feature. So there we have wake on plug, you have cast screen, you can change wallpaper, expanded desktop. Here if you turn this on for certain apps, then this will make the notification bar and the navigation bar disappear. So you have to slide up or swipe down or swipe up from the bottom or top of the screen to bring them back. Then there is LCD density, I will just show you. So if I change to 200, it will restart and everything will become smaller. So it will restart the UI now. So I guess you can notice the difference now. Everything is smaller. So there is a theme store. You can obviously go into the Play Store and search for CM13 themes. Next is the notifications. So you have heads up notification, do not disturb, and app notification, notification access. You can change accesses per app. Then there is lock screen. This is very unique. Here you can set the screen lock, and what's unique is that you can set it up to 6 times the normal dots. So you have really complicated pattern. So that's very unique. And then there is option of directly show pattern view, make pattern visible, show pattern error, pattern dots, all the basic controls that you will get in CyanogenNod. Then there is front button settings, left-handed mode. Arrow keys while typing, this is very handy. So when you are typing, there will be left and right keys, so you can touch them and move your cursor forward and backward. Then there's button layout, you can edit, you can add more or change which button stays where. So that's pretty good. Rest of the options are pretty much the same: power menu, end call, wake up device with home button, playback controls, etc. Then there's battery. You can actually see which app utilizes how much amount of battery. So here you can see my Wi-Fi has utilized 6532 milliampere hours of battery in total of 2 days and 16 hours. And it tells you what you can do to save more battery. So for example, if I go into screen, it says reduce the screen brightness and or screen timeout. So if I tap on that, it will take me to display settings to change those. So this is a pretty good, pretty good feature. So next up is security. You can encrypt the phone, make passwords visible or invisible. They will be hidden with star if they are not visible. Then there's SIM lock settings, device administrators, and unknown sources. So if you want to install .apk files from which have been downloaded from some other website, you have to turn this on. And then there's credential storage and miscellaneous. That's message limits, screen pinning. So screen pinning works like this. So if you turn on screen pinning for certain app, then that app is going to stay on the screen for a lot of time until you turn it off with your password. And then there's apps with usage access. So you can change the access of usage. So for example, Play Store is the only app that utilizes money on my device right now, so it will give that option only. Next is memory. So you can see average memory use for up to 1 day, and you can see memory used by apps currently, and you can see apps that start on boot up. You can even turn them off. So average use is 63%, that's normal performance, and I have 327 MB of RAM free out of 883. Then there is users. You can add a lot of users, guest, owner, and if you tap on add users, there will be new users, but you will have to set them up, and that takes a lot of time, and I never needed that feature, but still it's there. Then there's system profiles, so silent auto, default, that's not much of use. Then there's status bar settings. So status bar icons, you can set which icons appear in the status bar. So for example, if I turn off airplane mode and turn it on, where is the setting? So it's not, it's here, right here. So it will not display that it's in airplane mode. If I turn it on, it will show. So that's pretty good. Let me turn it off again. So next is clock. So clock style, you can set where you want the clock, so in the right, center, left, or it can be hidden. Then there's AM PM, battery status style, then text, circle, icon, landscape, different modes. Then there's brightness controls. This is very handy feature. So if you slide your finger on the status bar like this, it will change the amount of brightness. So that's a pretty good feature. Then they show notification count, so it will show the number of pending notifications. I do not have any notification as of now, so I cannot show it too. Then there is quick pull down. So if I turn it to right, what happen will, if I will slide from the right, it will directly take me into quick settings, and if I slide from left, it will show the notifications. So I have it on off. Then there's apps, so you can view all of your apps and how much space they are taking. Then accounts, privacy, here you can see privacy guard, block, color list, anonymous statics, and protected apps. So you can manage which applications are hidden behind the secure lock. In privacy guard, you can manage which apps have access to your personal data. So you can set permissions for particular app, and you can enable by default for newly installed apps, and you can turn them off too. I have it on show notification, so it will show me a notification whenever I need to change the setting. Then Google settings and location settings, those don't bother me much. Then there's date and time. You can obviously set it to automatic, nothing special. In accessibility, there are a lot of settings. So captions, magnification gesture will, if you triple tap on the screen anywhere, it will zoom in on that point anywhere in the display. Then there's last text, high contrast text, speak passwords, accessibility shortcuts, text to speech output, touch and hold delay, color inversion, color correction, etc. Then there's storage and USB. It will show your internal storage and how much space has been used. And then there's the SD card. You can mount or unmount right from here. Then language and input, nothing special over here. Backup and reset, nothing special again. Printing, nothing special. And developer options, there's a lot of things. In the developer options, you can enable root access. So you will have to check this setting if you want root access or not. You can directly disable it. You can enable it for apps only, ADB only, or for both apps and ADB. And there are a lot of settings in there. So there's advanced reboot. So when unlocked, this will include options in the power menu for rebooting into recovery, bootloader, or performing a soft reboot, which will not turn off the device, will simply reboot it. So there's stay awake settings. So if you have three options. So while USB debugging, while charging. So if you have connected to a PC, you are USB debugging on, this will the screen will always be awake. It will never turn off. Or while charging, your screen will never turn off. So Android debugging is right here. If you want to connect your device to your PC, then make sure you turn this on. And then there's local terminal, so you do not need to download a terminal app from Play Store. Then select mock location app, development shortcut, and lots of different options are over here. So if you want me to go into detail into these options, then leave a like on this video and please comment. And that's it for this. Thank you for watching. So this is a 38 times optical zoom lens from Nikon. Here this is a rubbery material used for better grip. Then there's flash, and there's a flash button.